Hello and welcome to Ageless Rock. Today, we are going to check out a small and not so famous monument in Iran. But if you have megalithic lands, you will still find it interesting because it is a megalithic structure with no definite owner where historians and archaeologists can agree with 100% confidence. Somewhere in south of Iran, about 90 kilometers away from the Persian Gulf, there is a rather small monument called Dokthar. It can be translated as daughter's tomb. Sometimes you can see articles calling this monument as Tomb of the Virgin, while some would call it Daughter's Mausoleum. It is about 5 hours drive northeast to Pasargade archaeological site, where you can find Tomb of Cyrus the Great, which is often compared to this daughter's tomb because of its design. If you visit these two monuments and drop by Persepolis on the way, you might have a very different opinion of what Persia was in ancient times. This little megalithic monument in the village of Jalga Barpes of Iram district of Bushehr province seems like a great monument in an odd location. Architecturally speaking, it looks like a miniature prototype of the famous monument we now call Tomb of Cyrus the Great. Do bear in mind that the actual identity has yet to be determined beyond doubt. You can check out my previous video on Tomb of Cyrus the Great, which was once believed to be tomb of Solomon's mother Bathsheba, or the Islamic Caliph by the name Sulaiman ibn Abdul Malik. If Tomb of Cyrus the Great was confusing, then confusion at Dokthar is understandable. This monument is described as Daughter's Mausoleum, which I think it is a bit too small to be called a mausoleum of someone significant enough to have a megalithic tomb. This gable roof structure sits on top of a 3-level platform with swallowtail metal clamps. When these dovetail clamps were discovered, it was carbon dated to 5th century. So now, all fingers point to Cyrus the Younger, who died in 401 BC and was erected by his mother Queen Parysatis. We are still not sure if this is an Achaemenid or post-Achaemenid construction, but we know we will be prosecuted for illegal interference. The naming of this tomb is rather unique and strange at the same time because instead of calling the person's name, it just mentioned the genealogical link. So the first question that comes to mind is, who is this daughter? Well, it is believed to be mother of Cyrus, who is the daughter of Astyages. Well, her name is Mandane, daughter of King Astyages of Median Empire. One day, the king had a dream that vines grew from her daughter's back and covers the entire Asia. A magi was called to interpret the dream and was told that his grandson would take over the throne. Astyages did not see Cambyses as a threat and encouraged his daughter to marry Cambyses I to strengthen and unite the Median Empire and the Persian Empire. However, after Cyrus the Great was born, Astyages had a second dream that he is in danger. So he ordered Harpagus to kill the newborn baby. Instead, Harpagus gave the baby to a shepherd, and Astyages came to know the truth about Cyrus the Great, that he was still alive, but allowed him to return to Persia. However, when the Persian revolt broke out, Cyrus the Great managed to overthrow Astyages and ended the Median Empire. This version is what you get to read and hear most of the time. But the fine print says even historians are doubtful about this story. For now, Mundane is the most possible candidate for this tomb. Since no one can be sure about it, the naming of daughter's tomb is as vague as the history. Otherwise, it would have been called Mundane's tomb. So, This 6th century rectangular structure we now call tomb stands at 4.45 meters high. Actually has no story of what really happened, and I think in the future it could be older or newer due to interpretation of whose tomb it should be. The fact that it is in an isolated spot makes me wonder if it has anything to do with human civilization. I just want to highlight here that the back end piece of the stone fell because everything here was just stacked on top of each other. In my opinion, if they have the technology for metal clamps, then the top two blocks would definitely need to be metal clamped for stability. This monument is significant to me because it proves that metal clamps are not for stability. The bottom of the three-layer platform is 5.1 meters long by 4.4 meters wide. Each step is about 34 centimeters high, and it sits on a stone mastaba. This entire structure is made up of only 22 blocks of stone lacking in carving, inscription, and doesn't even look like anything meant to be a tomb other than there is a room under the roof. This simple but yet impressive stone structure has an entrance 80 centimeters wide and 67 centimeters tall. That actually makes me wonder if this was actually meant to be a tomb. A structure with an open entrance has never been a concept to bury an important person. It looks more like an open concept room where something or someone can enter and exit multiple times. It is said that this monument was discovered by a Belgian archaeologist by the name Louis van den Berg on his sixth expedition between 1960 and 1961. This sensational discovery became the pride of Belgium and made its way to 1971 postage in Belgium. That makes me wonder if that actually means the Persians were not aware of this monument. Anyway, it goes to show that Persians of the 20th century were not able to give the Europeans a definite answer of what it is, and therefore the modern narrative is based on Western archaeology. There are other potential candidates for this monument. Louis Vandenberg himself suggested it belonged to Cyrus I. Ali Zera Shapur Shahbazi said it is likely to be for Cyrus the Younger. Other potential figures are Atusa, the daughter of Cyrus, or could be sister of Cyrus. It goes to show how little we know about this magnificent tomb-looking structure. My guess is anyone who is less significant in Persian history is a potential candidate to rest in peace inside this concave gable roof top. Inside the tomb is 2.2 meters long by 1.55 meters wide and has a ceiling 2.5 meters high. The masonry work inside has rough surfaces, but the outside seems to be dressed for someone important. A chamber in the middle of nowhere is totally strange to me, and linking to a dead person is going to be futile. It seems like there is no dead body and the entrance is made to be open forever. There is no sign of any possible hinge for a door and no circular stones to suggest it was rolled away. But the ancient builders went to great lengths to make polygonal blocks with no gap, and thus no mortar is required. Perfect fitting polygonal stone with no gap is a trademark of the mysterious ancient builders. I am inclined to believe that someone else was here first. This monument is said to be held together by metal clamps in dovetail shape for stability, but this structure is too small to be concerned about its stability. I am more concerned about the rooftop piece on the left of this photo, which is the back piece of the monument. With kids running around violently, they might shake the top piece in vertical position, and after 1000 years it might fall off the roof. At this point, I'm very sure that we don't know anything about this monument, and all we care is about finding a dead body to rest the case. I think this structure is not for a person to rest in peace because the entrance says so. For such a monument to be constructed for such an important person, there should be inscription somewhere in front, if not all over. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation on Daughter's Tomb. See you in the next video and have a wonderful day. This is Berniong signing out. Khoda Hafez.